Hey, welcome in. It is Thursday. It is already August 7th. This month is flying by, and it's been a wild month. It's been very chilly. It's been very wet. It has not felt like August at all. It feels like early October. And as of today, we are still the third coolest start to August on record. So,
Boo.
yeah, I mean, if we didn't have that 93 on the first, we would have been number one for sure. But we're starting to see some changes, but not so much today. Today, a little surprise drizzle event. I almost want to call it a drizzle storm because it's like this little burst of drizzle has developed this afternoon, and we've kind of seen it from our roof cam here at WCNC looking north. Normally, we can see uptown. It is not visible right now, and we're not that far away. We're only off the Billy Graham Parkway, so kind of wild that we can't see it. But look at the clouds, and notice how they're moving from right to left on your screen. That is east to west, okay? So that is flow coming in from the northeast to the southwest. So we'll blame Tim for these clouds because they started up near him and have drifted down our way. I want to show the Dallas camera real quick. I'm actually going to pull it up. I'm going to throw a curveball at you as I pull up the Dallas camera. Our Dallas camera is over in Gaston County, as you know, just west of Charlotte. So here's looking west. This is where it's clearing. We actually can see the sun. So you only go about a county and a half west, and all of a sudden, it's starting to clear out. But over Charlotte, it's cloudy, and yes, it's drizzling. And unlike the drizzle we were talking about yesterday and even early today, this is showing up on the radar, which tells you it's pretty heavy drizzle. I'd almost call it light rain in some cases now. Certainly, I think the airport at one point was reporting light rain. So certainly looks like light rain falling, and it's trying to pivot back to the west. But just to show you where that clearing line is, I'll show you the satellite and radar together. And we can see back towards Cleveland County, the sun is actually out. So we're kind of in this narrow corridor of, just gray, miserable conditions currently over the Piedmont. Now, temperature-wise, it is still coolish, but we're kind of trending a little bit warmer than yesterday. Remember, it was 69. So today, seeing temperatures in the 70s. I think yesterday was 74, excuse me. Today was 75. 69 was 2 days ago. Still in the 70s. They're all blending together. We had a stretch here of like everything staying around 80 or lower, but 71. Notice Shelby 78. So why are they 78? Got some sunshine. So that can kind of tell you. Look at the coolness up towards the Salisbury, Asheboro area, 68 and 69. Cloudy, drizzly, misty kind of weather. Today's official high temperature in Charlotte was 75 degrees. The morning low 66. Look at the averages, 90 and 70, so still below, and 0.01 inches, that's 1/100th. We're likely added to that, but deficit's still up there. And I love showing this because it kind of shows you where we've been. This is the last 7 days. So you read this light left to right. Yesterday was Wednesday, so that's the first day there on the left. 74, 69, 81, 76, 74. But look at Friday of last week. It was 93. That's also the last time we saw the sun. To me, that's the biggest thing about this cool, wet snap. We have not seen the sunshine in a solid week, which is crazy.
I'm like a withering houseplant.
Yeah. This is like the wedge we would get in the winter or spring where you don't see the sun forever. And then the summer, usually you get some mixing or heating of the day. But to me, this pattern, while it's not unprecedented, the length of it is going to be. We'll talk to Tim about that as well, because I think we both talked about that at length, that a cool day like this in August is not unheard of, but to get 7 days in a row is pretty crazy. It is pretty wild to see that. So going through tonight, I'd love to tell you it's going to get a lot better in the short term. Probably not. Drizzly, misty weather. If you're going to Charlotte FC tonight, we're going to be talking about that as well, sports and weather. It's not a great night for Charlotte FC, but it's not horrible either. I mean, it's not thunder. It's not a downpour. It's not
hot.
Super hot and humid. So to me, it feels like maybe an October game or an early season game. Grab that jacket more so because it's a little chilly, especially with the little bit of light rain or drizzle. It makes you feel cooler. So you could get away with the light jacket tonight there. Everybody else will cool back down into the 60s tonight. Most part, temperatures, again, way below average. So tomorrow, the first time in a couple days, we could be above 80 degrees, and I actually think we'll see some low 80s and maybe that bright fireball in the sky we call the sun, our closest star. That would be great. The first time in a week. Overcast skies. I checked. We have pretty much had overcast skies continuously for the last 7 days, so it would be great to see the potential of some sunshine. Now, looking long term, we're starting to see the clearing trend take place. Futurecast shows things starting to dry out a little bit tomorrow. I went way too quick there. Look at tomorrow afternoon. At this time, by 6 o'clock tomorrow night, again, sun still sets pretty late, we could have sunshine. Our cameras will look a lot brighter. So again, a full solid week. And then we go into Saturday, more sunshine. And the other thing we noticed, the wind shifting to the east-southeast, so some warmer, more humid air starts to shift into the region. So that should set up the stage for some pretty nice weather. We're going to talk about the tropics with Tim as well. We got a lot to talk about today. There's a lot going on. There's nothing heading our way, though. There are all kinds of social media rumors. I don't know if you saw James, our good friend Chris Jackson down in South Carolina, said people were canceling
I saw this.
doctor's appointments for weather tomorrow. And he was like, why? Apparently, people are watching TikTok and think there's a hurricane coming or something and are literally closing offices because they think there's bad weather coming when there's literally no bad weather coming.
Don't do that.
That's the real harm in there. Sometimes people, when we rant about the social media hype, people are like, what's the big deal? That's the big deal. Sometimes people literally cancel plans and change things for a storm that doesn't even exist. So that's our fear. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit with Tim.
And don't worry, when no hurricane materializes tomorrow, they won't blame TikTok.
No.
They'll blame the weather people for getting it wrong.
Yeah, just like we get yelled at for every app forecast. So, so we like I said, we got a lot to talk about. But let's look to the weekend. It's Thursday. I mean, it's always a good idea to look at the weekend right now. Temperatures are going to be in the mid-80s this weekend, 20% chance of rain both days. But the good news, if you miss summer, it's coming back. We'll take a quick look at it here. The 7-day forecast first. Panthers home preseason game tomorrow. Again, feeling like football season more so than summer. I'd have to look. I mean, I keep some pretty good stats for home openers. I have the hottest, coolest. It's one of my little hobbies. I love keeping track of Panthers home openers.
Stats.
Weather records at least. But for a preseason game, that might be one of the coolest that we've had in the month of August. I think we probably had somewhere it rained. Maybe a tropical system was in the vicinity, and it was probably in the upper 70s. But to be 82 and not rain is going to be amazing. This weekend, mid-80s, and then next week you'll see temperatures back into the upper 80s and low 90s. And by the way, the normal high currently is 90 degrees, but by the middle of next week, the average high drops to 89. And in 10 days, the average high drops to 88 degrees.
Woo.
So when you see above average temperatures, you're probably saying 88 doesn't seem bad. That's near average. 89 technically would be above average. So that's what we're talking about as we get into there. So